What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. You see the title and the thumbnail. What are the generational curses that you don't know about? So I did a video not too long ago referencing Ayala Van Zant Fix My Life Trauma Train, where basically people who like to talk about generational curses, they've passed down a curse from one generation to the next to the next to the next, which in some ways is selfishness and anger. And I thought about it because if you have 5 generations in a family, 4 generations in a family, and you don't know where the dysfunction actually came from, you're blaming the second generation or the third generation when it started with the fourth or the fifth. The fourth or the fifth uh, is not the same person that you know in your generation as the, fourth or the fifth. The first generation, like the beginning, the first generation, in the fifth generation, completely different. So the person in the first generation who started the issues is viewed differently by the person in the fifth generation than they are by the person in the second. You get what I'm saying? So the person in the fourth or fifth generation may not even know where these generational curses come from. They're assuming that their parents are the genesis of the problem. And the problem with that is, and it showed about the family dynamic when you just do whatever you want to do, you can blame your generational dysfunctions on people that are not even in the room, that have nothing to do with it. And one of the scenes was Ayala Van Zant, they were passing out apples and you got an apple for each dysfunction that you had. And the grandmother and the uncle, which were brother and sister, grandmom's 72, uncle's 65. Grandma had a bunch of apples, but she was the start of the problem, so she got extra apples from everybody else because she started, so they dumped the apples on her. But her brother only had like one apple. They were raised in the same family, by the same parents, but the brother didn't have the dysfunctions that his sister had. And then I started thinking about this, like, some of us don't really know where these curses actually come from because we don't ask the right questions, because we might not know how to ask the right questions or even know who to ask the right questions to. See, somebody might be out of pocket in the family, and that's the face of the dysfunction. They're the squeaky wheel. But another person who may be the actual beginning and start of all your generational curses is dysfunctions might have a better grasp on acting like they had nothing to do with it. They've moved on and they've left your generations to deal with the ramifications. So you're thinking, I got this dysfunction from this person, when you got this dysfunction from a person, a generation before that or 2 generations before that. But you don't know to ask the right questions, which once again causes another problem. Because at the end of the day, what about your other side of the family? What dysfunctions do they have or don't they have? Because you can be blaming them for something that's actually you. You can blame one side for something that's actually another side. You can blame one generation for something that's actually another generation. So add that onto, what are the ones you don't know about that don't exist? Or, the ones that you don't know about that do exist, rather. Because you don't actually know. You know that you're dealing with the dysfunction, but you don't know where it stems from. Because the silent generation might actually be very silent. Or the baby boomers, might have just gotten so old that they actually forgot. Gen X might be like, this is normal to me. Millennials might be like, You know, this is why I'm doing me. Generation Z might be like, what is going on? You know, it's Generation X and the millennials that's tripping, but in actuality, it's the baby boomers and the silent generation. But you don't know to ask those questions because the idea of reverence and respect says it can't come from them. So what about the generation curses you don't know about that either somebody created, or what about the ones that they inherited? See what I'm saying? So I hope this is something that people understand, and I hope I communicated it properly to you. So we out. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.